Hi guys, I'm in Florida. Understanding muscle tone, understanding muscle strength, understanding functional movement and mobility, how it affects physical and cognitive development. One of the reasons why I'm doing all my webinars right now is I've just decided that most people don't understand what movement is and what a milestone is, right? So we have these wide ranges going in and out, and a wide range of opinions, including mine. But the reason is because we don't have a definitive answer. And this is proven by the government. They didn't have a definitive answer why kids aren't advancing as much as they have been. So they changed the development to delay them. And now you're coming in underneath the government standards. The government standards are already posting a developmentally delayed baby, and now you're thinking you're just a bit below, and you're going into almost global delays. The difference, that was a question today and during my sessions. What's the difference between developmental delays and global delays? Developmental delays are, you're a little bit behind the eight ball, as they like to say, rolling, sort of getting there, not getting there. But really, you're not meant to miss a milestone, right? That's the first thing we're trying to present. Not only time-dictated development, but you're not meant to miss a milestone. And for everybody to be screaming right now that crawling's not a milestone, yeah, it is. It's a big one. But again, the government couldn't define what crawling was because there were so many variations and why some people crawled or kids crawled one way and not the other, that they took it out altogether, the development chart, which doesn't help when you're, again, going into global delays. Global delays are really where your child progression rate is now like at the 6-month level. You should see a progressive or definitive milestone change within the 4 to 6 week period. When you're looking at a milestone or just not only that they're not meeting it, but you're starting to see at the 6 months range, then we're into global delays because it's affecting all the sensories, it's affecting all the motor skills, etc., and the child's not progressing. In some cases, because that progression is so off the charts, lots of times physios and so forth back off because they're not going to progress, so therefore they shouldn't get the therapy. And even though therapies should be used even for just well-being, standard well-being, for bed sores, all of that kind of things that can come into play. Curvatures of the spines, just keeping on top of the child, because that's the biggest complaint that people give me of themselves, that I should have known sooner. And I'm like, guys, you're not on this earth to know that your child has issues. You're not on this earth. I was not there for that. What you're here for is to be a parent, and we're supposed to have professionals that start saying, I'm noticing this. Are they doing this? But again, those protocols aren't out there. They're not looking at the development. They're looking at, again, where they're missing, and if they take out milestones like coming to sitting and crawling and so forth, your child's not as delayed, even though your child's actually more delayed because they're missing it. So, and then you need to work on that. So a post was made about like a gymboree stuff and affecting muscle tone because your child's not walking, whatever it is. So what you need to look at first of all is to, again, where's the evaluation? When your child's not progressing in a certain way, again, what is the span? 4 to 6 weeks? Every 2 to 3 months? Not at all. What are you looking at? When you're looking at muscles to create movement, you're going to be chasing your tail the whole time. When we are adults, the reason we need certain muscles is to bypass functional movements. When we are children, we're only meant to do functional movements. Those are milestones. Milestones have a synchronization with the pubic bone. They keep their eye on the prize. It goes through the spine. Any functional movement goes through every major and minor organ. That's what's significant in a milestone. I can do a linear-based movement all day long, right? It doesn't do any of those things. I can't dress myself. It's not functional. I can't feed myself. It does not go through my major minor organs. It has nothing to do with my pubic bone strike. So again, I need certain muscles to do those kind of movements. When your child is hyper-responsive, then they are going into linear-based movements and they don't have the functional movements. So it doesn't matter. They're stronger than an ox, but they can't do the movements because they're going on a load lift variation. They're not using weight transfer. They're not using transitional skills, and they're certainly not having rotational responses. When you have a low tone child, again, they're looking for the muscle tone. But this is also where you have to go into the evaluation. Now, just because you have muscle tone, again, look at, let's say, cerebral palsy or Fox gene 1, that doesn't mean you're getting functional movement. And so I get it in some aspects of really understand movement lesson, you know what I mean? Like it's a mouthful, but at the same time too, what I'm trying to explain, like what people look at as biomechanics, more of system mechanics, where there are certain physics that are just involved in the way the human body moves. So when your child is not walking, let's say by 2, it has nothing to do with muscle strength. Little old ladies can go to the store just fine, and you can blow them over with a soft wind. It's not about that, but they have weight transfer, they have transitional movements, and they still have rotational movements. If you do not have these skills at 80, you're not doing it. And if you don't have these skills at 2 months old, you're not doing it. And that's what you need to look at. It is fun doing the gymboree stuff. It is fun. I go to the gym. It is fun making muscles. But if you're looking for muscle to create movement, it's not going to happen that way. First, when a low-tone child is to strengthen it, you've got to look at the vision. I can guarantee you have issues with convergence, right? So that has to be your number one. When you're looking at the fine motor skills and the gross motor skills, again, where is their relationship to gravity? Can they oppose it? And when they can oppose gravity with 2 or more forces of movement, maybe like say momentum and push-pull, then they have compensation skills and they have comprehension skills, right? So this is where the movement now goes into the cognitive. Like you're meant to do all your developmental milestones up until walking for speech to occur. And this is where it's very difficult when your child's not walking for speech to be in there if you, again, aren't using these kind of essentials for movement. So to say something, I'm bringing something in the house for fun, that's all well and good. But if you think, again, that you're going to create more muscle and get more movement, you're only going to get patterning skills availability versus that functional movement. Children move differently than adults. They just do. So you have to go back. The reason I can do things differently or more things than my child can do is because I have more experience. Just like I have a vocabulary now that I can talk this way because I'm 60 years old. A 3-year-old is not going to talk this way because they don't have the life experiences. They don't have the vocabulary. They don't have that, like, you know, you can't be in the 3rd grade and write a Harry Potter. So she wrote in a way that intrigued 3rd graders, but a 3rd grader couldn't have done it. And that makes more sense. We really have to look at muscle and movement in the same way. If we want those intricate skills that need to happen first through the fine motor skills and going in and doing those kind of things like pincer and all that, we have to look at again, the evaluation, which is a newborn movement assessment, and then looking at why the tone is off and then why the rotation, weight transfer, and transitional skills are off. And that's what you're going to do, because when I have kids doing something, I didn't improve their muscle tone in a day, but I improve those abilities. You improve those abilities, movement gets easier. When you don't have those abilities, movement is really hard. And again, if you haven't done gravity and you can't do 2 or more forces, then movement is really, really hard and frustrating. And remember, I always say, if it's difficult or it hurts them, they're just not going to do it. So trying to think of some things, again, I'm all for, like, you know, pads and this, that, and the other, but do it for fun. But if you think, again, that your child somehow who can't do walking is going to manipulate those things in a way that's going to create or respond as a functional movement, that's where the frustration comes in. So understanding those kind of things of movement are really significant to your child's life and to your sanity, for lack of a better, and that's what you have to look at.